Serious note, have you ever found yourself eating your kids' leftover pasta over the sink at 9 p.m., wondering when was the last time I did something for me? Same. That is exactly when I knew something had to change. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, stuck in the same exhausting routine, or just craving a fresh new start, this video is specifically meant for you. Because spring cleaning isn't just about cleaning out your closet. It's the perfect time to declutter and reset your life. And guess what? I have done this reset myself. So if you're ready to ditch the burnout and feel like you again, let's dive in. As always, this video is broken up into clear chapters. Today, I am going to walk you through my step-by-step guide to refresh your mindset, routines, and habits so you can honestly show up as your best version of yourself. So grab your matcha, get comfy, because we are about to hit the reset button together. So what exactly do I mean by life reset? First, let me tell you what it's not. It is not about throwing everything away and starting from scratch. It's not about becoming a completely different person overnight. And it's definitely not about following somebody else's idea of a perfect life. A life reset is about realigning what truly matters to you. It's about pressing pause and stepping back and seeing your life from a fresh perspective. Whether you want to be more present with your kids or reignite your passions, allocate more time to your relationships, or just wake up feeling excited, this is your moment. I want you to know something. You deserve this reset. And it's absolutely possible, even with your busy schedule. Trust me on this. So, why even bother with a life reset? Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions day after day after day? Like you're on autopilot? Like we push through thinking that this is just life, but it doesn't have to be. Life is constantly shifting, and it's so easy to get caught up in autopilot mode, especially as a busy mom, especially as a wife, especially a successful woman, that we focus on taking care of everybody else and forget to check in on ourselves. Our reset helps with that in so many different ways. First off, it reduces stress and the constant feeling of overwhelm. You know the tightness in your stomach when you open up your phone and you check your calendar, you see a never ending to do list? We are eliminating that. Or it reignites your motivation. That spark that you had, your dreams, they didn't just disappear. They were buried under life, your daily grind, motherhood, wifehood, workhood. Third, it helps build daily habits that actually support your mental and physical health instead of draining it. And finally, it helps create routines that work for you and not against you. I will never forget when I hit my breaking point 2 years ago. It was the summer. My son had 1,000 different activities, swimming 5 times a week. People were flying in on a regular basis. I had no real friends in the city, so I didn't have a social release, and I was always running on less than 7 hours of sleep. I literally broke crying one day when I was making food for a host of people in the house. That was my wake up call because I needed something to change. I needed something for me. And let me tell you, that moment forced me to hit the reset button. And that change I made, it brought me back to life. The best part, it didn't require a complete life haul, it just needed intentional adjustments. So, how do you know if you actually need a life reset? Let's talk about some signs that will be very telling. Okay, first off, you will feel stuck. I mean, like really, really stuck. Your days feel like Groundhog Days. You wake up, rush around, take care of everybody else, make dinner, collapse in bed, repeat. Do it all over again. Second, you are constantly exhausted. And I don't mean just like tired, I mean like dead tired, bone deep exhaustion that doesn't go away no matter how much coffee or matcha you are drinking. That is not normal. And that is definitely a sign that your routine is not supporting you. It's supporting everybody else. And third, this one hits hard. You have lost touch with yourself. Remember, you used to have hobbies, interests, goals, opinions that weren't just which laundry detergent works best or what kid activity you want to put your kids in. Motherhood, work, life makes us forget our own needs and desires, and that is not okay. Fourth, you are either overwhelmed by clutter, both mentally and physically. Your house is a mess. Your mind is racing. You can't seem to find peace anywhere. The physical clutter, the mental chaos, they are totally connected. And finally, you are ready for a change. You know something needs to change, but you have no idea where to even start. You're overwhelmed by the thought of making the big changes, so you don't make them at all. Does any of this sound familiar? If you're nodding your head right now, please know that you are not alone. I have been there. Many of my friends have been there. So many women have shared these struggles and challenges and are feeling the same exact way. But the good news, recognizing that you need a reset is actually the hardest part. Now, let's talk about how to make the reset actually happen. I've broken down this guide into 10 steps so you can apply all of them or just some of them, but apply them. Step one, imagine your ideal day, but not by making a to do list or jumping straight into tasks. But before we touch anything in our routine, let's get clear on what actually we're working towards. Imagine this. You wake up feeling rested. Your morning flows without chaos. And by the end of the day, you feel accomplished instead of feeling drained. That's what we are building. I'm not talking about some fancy vacation. I mean a realistic, wonderful, regular day in your actual life. What time would you wake up? How would you spend your mornings? What kind of work would fill your day? How would you connect with your family? How are you connecting with your spouse? What would make you feel fulfilled by the end of the day? For me, I used to roll out of bed already in a rush, kids asking for breakfast, 100 notifications on my phone, and my first sip of matcha would be cold because I completely forgot about it. But when I did this exercise, I realized that my ideal day wasn't about luxury, it was about small shifts. Like waking up 30 minutes before the kids for a quiet matcha moment, or putting my phone on Do Not Disturb for the first hour to actually enjoy self care. Instead of standing and eating and brushing over the sink, I was able to implement these strategies and it changed my life significantly. The most fascinating thing is that this isn't impossible. It's just we need to prioritize them. So I want you to pause, grab your phone or a journal, and write out your ideal day. If you only have 30 seconds, answer this. What is one thing that you would change in your morning today? And do that. Remember, this isn't about somebody else's perfect idea. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just whatever makes you feel good. Maybe you thrive in super structured days, or maybe you need more flexibility. Honor whatever you know is best for you and stick to that. Step two, let's be real. Clutter isn't just physical, but it's digital, it's mental, it's emotional, it's all of the feels. So before we add new habits, let's clear out what's in the way. And I promise we're going to start small here because that is key. Let's just start with your digital space. How many unused apps are cluttering up your phone right now? You know, the ones that you have downloaded for one specific thing and you never use it again. Or what about your social media apps that you open mindlessly when you are on your spare time? All right, I have my phone. I want us to do this detox together. Let's do a 60-second phone detox. Open up your phone right now. And the first thing I want you to delete is an app that you use for one-time use only. I am going to delete the Florida parking app because I use that only when I go to Florida and I haven't been there in a while. Number two, let's delete a shopping app because we were probably spending too much money. I'm gonna delete Target because they are canceled right now. And then social media, I already did this, but I deleted my Instagram, but delete something that you scroll mindlessly on that isn't serving you. All right, great. Let me know in the comments how many apps that you actually deleted. I started this task, I want to say earlier today, and I actually ended up deleting 5, but I deleted, and I'm always trying to purge. Next, let's talk about your schedule. This one is tough, but so necessary. I want you to look at your calendar over the next month and ask yourself, which of these commitments align with my priorities? Which of these commitments are meant for me and you fully? A while back, I was saying yes to every school activity, every after school activity, every birthday, every lunch date, everything. But when I actually looked at my week, I realized that I had zero time for deep work and self-care, and I was starting to feel resentful instead of helpful. So I set a rule. If it doesn't fit into my planned work hours, I say no without guilt. And guess what? The kid's friends are still his friends. My son still knows how to swim, and everything all works out. It's okay. What commitments are really draining you right now, and what can you say no to? Remember, every single time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you are saying yes to what actually matters. And that is the most important. Finally, let's tackle our physical space, especially areas that cause us the most stress. All right, what is one spot in your house that stresses you out the most every single day? For me, it is the kitchen. I hate dishes. I hate clutter. It is always covered in paper. There's always dishes in the sink. So, since I work from home, I do the dishes throughout the day, but I also created a designated bin for deliverables. So everything gets put in this bin. So by 8 p.m., the dishes are done, the kitchen is clear of clutter, and my night and morning are smoother. It's less chaotic. So you don't need to tackle the entire house. You just need to make an impact on one space that will change your life. Maybe it's your desk, maybe it's your kitchen counter, maybe it's your bathroom, but whatever that is causing you stress, pick one space and reset it this week. And remember, decluttering isn't just about organizing what you have, it's about letting go of what no longer serves you to make room for what actually does. Then tell me in the comments, what did you let go of? I am so curious to hear. Step 3, your morning and night reset. I don't care what anybody says, you do not need a 2-hour morning routine. You just need a few small shifts to start your day with intention instead of stress. And the same goes for winding down at night. So let me show you what actually works. Let's start with our morning routines. What I'm suggesting is protecting the first 30 minutes to an hour of your day from the outside world. The world is crazy as it is. That means no checking emails, no scrolling social media, no immediately responding to everybody else's needs but your own. And that is the critical part. If your morning feels chaotic, try some of these actions. Hydrate first thing. I keep a glass of lemon water by my bedside before I drink my matcha because it wakes me up faster. Set intentions. Before reaching for my phone, I listen to a 10-minute meditation and it starts my day feeling great. If you have more time, take a cold shower. Take a normal shower, the last 30 seconds, put it all the way cold. It will jumpstart your day. Fun fact, cold showers increase dopamine and adrenaline, so it increases your energy, focus, and elevate your mood. Now let's talk about your evening reset. The key here is creating a buffer between the chaos of the day and your sleep, because that is very critical at separating the two. For years, I used to fall asleep watching Netflix with my husband with my phone in my hand, then I would wake up the next day feeling exhausted. So I made 3 small shifts to help with that. I set an alarm. When my phone goes off, it tells me it's time for bed. I stop scrolling. I turn off the TV. Number 2, a 10-minute tidy up. Whatever that space is in the bathroom, I clean up. It instantly boosts my mood. And number 3, I put the phone across the room. This felt impossible at first, but my whole family is in the house, so I'm not really missing anything. So I dare you to try, put your phone across the room or outside for just 3 nights. And if you do it, come back and let me know how your mornings feel. Trust me, it will be a game changer. Or even try the cold shower. Step 4, self-care. I just mentioned that you don't need a 2-hour morning routine, but you definitely need a self-care routine. Self-care isn't just bubble baths and face masks. It's the daily choice that keeps you feeling good inside and out. Let's start building up some non-negotiables for self-care, starting with movement. Not every workout has to be a full-on gym session, but you can dance to your favorite song while making breakfast, or you can go on a 10-minute hot girl walk after lunch, or you can stretch in bed before you go to sleep. Movement is so critical, but movement should make you feel good and not like a chore. Next thing. Now, I know I'm not the only one who has eaten my kids' leftovers. We've talked about this already, but that's why I started prepping mom snacks, because things like protein boxes, eggs, cheese, sliced apples, almonds. This way I have quick options that aren't chips and candy. Now, the next one is big for me. If you wouldn't cancel an important meeting, why would you cancel yourself by skipping sleep? Treat your bedtime routine like an appointment, because it is. Sleep is the most important version of self-care. But here's the truth. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's necessary for you to show up fully for everything and everyone else in your life. You need to show up for yourself. What's one small self-care habit that you are committing to this week? Drop it in the comments and let me know your thoughts. Step 5, create a simple but flexible routine. Now let's talk about routines. And before you write me off thinking I'm about to give you an hour by hour routine, this is not that at all, actually. But it is important to talk about routines. Routines don't have to be rigid. They're just frameworks that reduce decision fatigue and help you prioritize what actually matters. Try these flexible routines and let me know what you guys think next week. First, start with time blocking for your non negotiables. Instead of a detailed schedule, a highlighted planner, block out chunks of time for priorities like family dinner or workouts or focused work time. A great example of this would be a Sunday reset, meal prep Mondays, errand day Wednesdays, self care Fridays. When I implemented an administrative Wednesday for emails, bills, paperwork, it completely transformed my week because there was a weight lifted off my shoulder. Next, habit stacking. I swear by this. Do a new habit attached to an old one, stretch while you're drinking matcha, read a book while you're brushing your teeth. The key is to keeping it simple but sustainable. Step 6, set realistic goals. Goals are a common thing in my videos because they are widely important, more important than most people think. So many of us struggle with the all or nothing mindset. We think that if we can't transform our entire life overnight, then why even bother at all? And that's just not the best way to think about it. What I've learned is small, consistent actions create massive change over time. So instead of vague, overwhelming goals like get healthy or be more organized, try tiny, specific goals. Go for a 10-minute walk after dinner 3 times a week, or drink a glass of water before any caffeine in the morning. These might seem small, but they matter and they actually work. They're doable even on the busiest days, which means they'll actually stick with them. When I was trying to establish a consistent exercise routine, I kept failing because I set an hour-long workout in between time. And that really just didn't make sense. Instead, I moved to 15 to 20 minutes of moving daily. And the days where those 10 minutes naturally extended to 20 and 30 minutes when I got started. Giving myself the flexibility and freedom made the change a whole lot better. What is a tiny goal that you can stick to this week that is super easy, that you don't even think of, that you can implement? Now let's talk about our digital space because it's truly important. Social media and technology can be a wonderful tool for connections and inspiration, or it can also be a major source of stress and comparison. And if that is the case, it is definitely time for a digital reset. What I did was a social media audit. Pay attention to how different accounts make you feel. Does a person's content energize you or does it drain you? Are you feeling envious and mad? If it is the latter, you need to hit the unfollow button without guilt. Set up screen time boundaries. An example of this would be use the phone settings to create a limitation on your app. Keep your phone in another room during family time or the first moments when you wake up. I initially put Instagram on my last page and turn off the notifications, and my usage actually dropped by like 50%. Now we want to tackle notifications and emails. Turn off non-essential notifications and spend 15 minutes unsubscribing to emails that you never open. I literally had 3,000 emails in my inbox, and that clutter was messing with my mind. And step 8, reassess your relationships. The people that you spend time with profoundly impact your energy, your mindset, and your habits. And I hate to be honest with you, are they uplifting you or draining you? Because if they are draining you, I'm not suggesting cut these people out dramatically and completely, but I do encourage you to be intentional about where your energy goes. Maybe that means setting boundaries with your friends who only call you to complain. You don't need that in your life all the time. Or maybe it's making an effort to connect with those people who inspire you and support you. I realize that I spend a lot of hours each month chatting with friends who negatively left me drained, and I started to limit those conversations. I use that same time to call my mom, who loves me, leaves me feeling uplifted all the time. Boundaries are not selfish, they are necessary. Who makes you feel like yourself? Those are the people that you need to be around with. How can you prioritize those connections? Now for my favorite part, rediscover your spark. When was the last time you did something for you? Purely for joy. As moms, we often put our own interests on the back burner on the regular basis. But having something that excites you outside of your role is vital to your well-being. I used to do physical races and challenges all the time before kids. and I haven't signed up for any of them in years. During my reset, I committed to doing a 5K, which sounds silly at first, but it was so scarce, it sparked my interest again. So maybe that's reading fiction or gardening, dancing in your kitchen, or learning about astrology. Whatever it is, this week I challenge you to schedule something for 30 minutes that brings you pure joy. Put it on the calendar like it's an important appointment, because it is. It's important to feed yourself. And finally, the most important step of all, remembering that life isn't perfect and your reset doesn't have to be either. There will be days when your morning routine gets derailed by a sick kid, when work deadlines means you skip your hot girl walks, or when you have to fall back into your old habits. That's not failure, that's just being human. Just last week, I had the perfect reset day, and then my daughter woke up with a fever. All my plans went to crap. Like, there was nothing I could do about it. My old self would have been frustrated and mad and upset, but my new perspective is, this is just one day. This doesn't have to be my tomorrow. I don't have to do the same thing twice. The key isn't about perfection, it's about consistency and grace. So come back to your intentions, adjust as needed, and move forward. Your reset isn't just a one-time event. It's an ongoing practice of choosing what serves you and what letting go of doesn't serve you. And there you have it, your complete guide to your spring cleaning your routine and resetting your life. I'm so happy you tapped in today. Remember, this isn't about overhauling everything overnight, but it is about making small intentional changes that align with what truly matters to you, because you are important. This is your time to reset, refresh, and step into the version of yourself that feels good. Start small, celebrate the wins, and give yourself grace along the way. If this video resonates with you, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content on creating a life that you love. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. So what is one thing that you are going to reset this spring? Drop it in the comments below, and I cannot wait to get back to you. Also, if you want to dive in more about consistency, check out my video on how to master consistency. I am Kaylin. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. And remember, small changes lead to big transformations. I believe in you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.